Welcome to True Crime Story Time. The channel explores true cases, revealing the mystery behind the crimes through each fascinating and dramatic story. In August 2000, in a peaceful neighborhood of Vallejo, California, a seemingly harmless decision led to a series of horrifying events that shook the whole of America. It was the 8th birthday of Midsi Sanchez, an energetic, optimistic, and cheerful girl. That morning, Midsi was full of excitement, dreaming of presents, a cake, and a warm family party that awaited. No one in her family could have guessed that it would become one of the worst days of their lives. When Midsi asked permission to walk home alone after school, just a few short blocks from school, the decision set off a nightmare. Amid the seemingly safe and deserted streets, a ruthless predator was waiting for its chance. Midsi's disappearance was not only a heartbreaking experience for a family, but also a warning to all parents, reminding them that danger can loom anywhere, even in the most familiar of areas. Midsi's story is not only a miraculous rescue of an 8-year-old girl, but also a testament to the power of survival and courage. It is a story that has touched millions of people, forcing us all to rethink the safety of children in modern society. Midsi Sanchez was born on August 12, 1992, in Vallejo, California, to a happy family of 3 siblings. As the youngest child, Midsi was always the center of love from her parents and siblings. She was known for her vivacity, cheerful personality, and determination in everything she did. Midsi loved small adventures in the neighborhood and often explored familiar streets near her home. The Sanchez family lived in a peaceful area where neighbors knew each other and crime was rare. For Midsi's parents, this was the ideal place to raise their children. Her parents always tried to create a warm and safe environment for their children. Midsi's 8th birthday was a special occasion, and the whole family eagerly prepared a small party to celebrate her. On that fateful morning, Midsi left home for school with joy, looking forward to her special day. The school was only a few blocks away, and walking home every day was normal for Midsi. However, that day, Midsi decided to go ahead of her 2 brothers to quickly get home to start the party. This was a decision that she and her family could not have foreseen the consequences. As Midsi eagerly returned home, a stranger appeared on the familiar path. Curtis Dean Anderson, a 43-year-old man with a history of petty crime, was looking for a new victim. Anderson, with his knowledge of the area and his hunting habits, chose Midsi as his target. This predator was well prepared to carry out a savage act that would change Midsi and her family's lives forever. The story is not only about the disappearance of a young girl, but also a painful reminder that predators can lurk in the communities we consider the safest. When Midsi was halfway there, she noticed a car parked on the side of the road. A man inside the car was staring at her. Midsi felt nervous and instinctively decided to cross the street to avoid the stranger. But just as Midsi was about to continue walking, the man got out of the car and called out to her, pretending to need help. He said he had hurt his leg from falling off his bike and couldn't pick up the roll of duct tape lying between his car seats. In a friendly but scheming voice, the man tried to convince Midsi that he really needed help. Midsi, an innocent and kind girl, agreed. But as soon as Midsi bent down to look for the tape, the man pushed her into the car, locked the door, and immediately drove away. Everything happened so fast that no one on the deserted street could see what happened. Midsi panicked, screamed, and tried to open the door to escape, but all in vain. The man had prepared carefully. The car door was locked, and he quickly drove to a deserted place. Meanwhile, at Midsi's house, her family was busy preparing for a birthday party. Her parents and brother had no idea that Midsi was in danger. When the 2 brothers returned home and did not see their sister, the family immediately realized something was wrong. Midsi had never been late without notice. They immediately called friends and neighbors to look for her, but no one had any information. Concerns grew as time passed. The Sanchez family finally called the police to report Midsi missing. The police quickly got involved, but what they discovered only made everyone more confused. In the car, Midsi continued to cry, trying to plead with the man to let her go, but he did not respond. After driving to a deserted parking lot, the man forced Midsi to change her clothes, threatened her with a gun, and forced her to drink a bitter liquid, later determined to be hard liquor. Midsi passed out from the effects of the alcohol, and from there, she was subjected to horrific days of captivity and abuse. As Midsi was being driven to different locations in the car, her family and police raced against time to find her. Police discovered that Midsi was not the first girl to go missing in the Vallejo area. Two other girls, Amber Schwartz and Shaw Fairchild, had also mysteriously disappeared in the previous months. All of the disappearances had occurred during the day near the victims' homes and without witnesses. This led police to suspect they were dealing with a serial abductor. Police quickly launched a search, working with Midsi's family, friends, and neighbors. Dozens of volunteers began distributing flyers with Midsi's picture, asking for help from the community. A special police team was assigned to the case, and they quickly searched for clues along Midsi's usual route home from school. Midsi was last seen leaving school at 4 p.m. on August 12, 2000. There were no direct witnesses to her abduction, and the area where Midsi was traveling was relatively deserted. The Sanchez family reported that Midsi had never left without notice, further confirming that this was a kidnapping. Links to previous missing cases police noticed similarities between Midsi's case and two previous abductions. A 7-year-old girl disappeared while playing in her yard during the day, leaving no trace. Another 7-year-old girl disappeared on the road near her home, also without witnesses. All three incidents occurred in Vallejo and were close in location and manner. This led to suspicions that the same person was responsible, a well-planned abductor with local knowledge. Based on the initial information, police planned a massive search, including hundreds of police officers and volunteers checked alleys, abandoned houses, and other places where Midsi might have been held. Although security cameras were not yet common, they tried to collect any images from the area where Midsi had been. Police interviewed dozens of people who lived near the school and areas where Midsi had been, but no one saw anything suspicious. Volunteers continued to distribute flyers in hopes of finding a lead. One of the flyers ended up in the hands of Midsi's kidnapper, Curtis Dean Anderson. He even took the flyer and deliberately taunted Midsi by boasting that her family had been searching for her in vain. Despite the police's relentless efforts, the big break in the case came from Midsi herself. After 2 days of captivity and torture, Midsi saw an opportunity to escape when her kidnapper accidentally left his keys in the car. She unlocked the chain, crawled out of the car, and fled. As Midsi ran down the road, a truck driver found her exhausted and panicked. The driver quickly put Midsi in the truck, gave her water, and immediately called the police. Midsi provided information about the kidnapper's car, including the license plate number and a clear description of his appearance. Just hours after Midsi was rescued, police used the license plate number to identify the kidnapper. Curtis Dean Anderson, 43, was arrested at his home. Anderson appeared calm when he was arrested, but Midsi immediately recognized him and claimed that he was the one who had kidnapped and tortured her. Midsi's miraculous escape not only saved her life, but also brought hope to solve other cases. Anderson quickly became the prime suspect in the kidnapping of Amber Schwartz and Shaw Fairchild. Police finally found the perpetrator of this terrifying series of crimes, thanks to the extraordinary courage of an 8-year-old girl. After the arrest of Curtis Dean Anderson, the investigation was intensified to clarify the whole truth about the kidnapping of Midsi Sanchez and to find out if he was related to other missing persons cases in the area. Investigators faced the difficult task of gathering evidence, confronting Anderson, and corroborating his claims. After being rescued, Midsi Sanchez gave police a detailed account of what happened during her 2-day captivity. Her testimony was an important basis for police to form an understanding of Anderson's behavior and modus operandi. Midsi recounted, "Anderson pretended to be injured and in need of help, then took advantage of her kindness to lure her into the car. Anderson kept Midsi in the car, moving her around constantly and threatening her with a gun. Anderson changed Midsi's clothes, forced her to drink hard liquor to disorient her, and deliberately moved through deserted areas." These details not only helped police understand Anderson's modus operandi, but also showed his thorough preparation and ruthlessness. Investigators quickly searched Anderson's car where Midsi was held. The car became a treasure trove of evidence, providing important clues. Midsi's fingerprints and DNA were found on items in the car, corroborating her testimony. Midsi's clothes and toys were left in the car, suggesting that Anderson had intended to prolong her captivity. Several photographs were found in the car, in which Anderson documented his crimes, providing irrefutable evidence. In addition to the car, police searched the locations where Anderson had stopped. These locations were determined through Midsi's testimony and his travel history. When arrested, Anderson appeared calm, but initially refused to cooperate. Investigators used a variety of tactics to get him to confess. Police presented incontrovertible evidence, such as Midsi's testimony and DNA samples. They suggested that cooperation might help him get a lighter sentence. Investigators exploited Anderson's arrogance, making him want to brag about his accomplishments. After 2 days of confrontation, Anderson began to confess. He admitted to kidnapping Midsi and also told them about other missing persons cases, including Shaw Fairchild. Anderson said he kidnapped and murdered the 7-year-old girl and indicated where she was buried in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Amber Schwartz. Although Anderson admitted to kidnapping Amber, he was unable to locate the body, making it difficult to verify. As a result of Anderson's testimony, Shaw Fairchild's body was found in the Santa Cruz Mountains. An autopsy revealed that she had been severely abused and died of a drug overdose, which Anderson had injected into her with toxic substances. Amber Schwartz's body has not been found, but investigators believe she was also a victim of Anderson. Midsi's escape has sparked hope in the community, but also deep fear. Police are appealing for the community's cooperation, while Midsi's family is focused on helping the girl recover from her injuries. The investigation has not only brought Anderson to justice, but has also forced the Vallejo community to confront the horrifying truth. The killer has been operating in their neighborhood for a long time. Prosecutors quickly built a strong case against Anderson, based on Midsi's testimony and the evidence they collected. Anderson was charged with kidnapping, child sexual assault, and false imprisonment of Midsi Sanchez. He also faced murder charges in the Shaw Fairchild case. Evidence from Anderson's car, including fingerprints, DNA, and items related to Midsi, confirmed the victim's presence in the car. Midsi's testimony, along with witnesses who saw Anderson near the abduction site, further strengthened the prosecution's case. Anderson's defense attorney attempted to reduce the charges by citing his troubled past, but was unable to counter the overwhelming evidence. Anderson refused to plead guilty to the charges related to Amber Schwartz, leaving the case unsolved due to lack of evidence. Curtis Dean Anderson was convicted of kidnapping and murder and sentenced to death for his brutal crimes. The trial took place in front of Midsi and her family, where she bravely confronted the man who had held her captive. The trial not only brought justice to Midsi and her family, but also attracted great attention from the community. It became a wake-up call about the dangers of predators in the community and the importance of educating children to recognize and respond to danger. Midsi's family expressed their deep gratitude to the police force, the driver who rescued Midsi, and all those who assisted in the investigation. Midsi, even though she was only 8 years old, became a symbol of courage and determination by helping to bring Anderson to justice. The Curtis Dean Anderson case is a painful reminder of the dangers that children can face, but also a testament to the power of courage and resilience. Midsi Sanchez's miraculous survival and Anderson's conviction are not only justice for what happened, but also a huge step forward in protecting children and building safer communities. Midsi not only survived, but turned her tragic story into an inspiration to protect and support others. This case, while tragic, left an important mark on courage and hope. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for more true crime stories. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated. Your support means the world to us.